Excuse me, sir. Could you just hold on to the mic because I record.
This is a co-founder of the Janagraha Center for Citizenship and Democracy, and I happen to kind of get involved in this as principal advisor to Janagraha. Before I came on to Janagraha and Jana Group, I used to be in Indian Administrative Service for about 29 years, and I was the mission director of JNNURM when it was designed, and I implemented it for about 2 years before I left Government of India, and then I joined the Janagraha and the Jana Group, and that's where I am. Just a brief introduction as to you should know who this guy is. Well, this TenderSURE is a very, very innovative, interesting idea which Ms. Swati Ramanathan has taken a lot of efforts to piece together all the best practices that are obtaining all over the world. So that's the way she has gone about working on it for quite a long time, and a lot of inputs have gone into. She had a lot of consultations with various organizations, national, international, and I happened to go through this document about 2-3 times, vet it time and again, and then give some more inputs to make it absolutely fine. So this is a very novel idea in the sense it does capture the imaginations of all the people around the world. That's very important. It's very close to what the previous speaker was talking about, and Bangaloreans need not have to feel let down that you are lagging behind Chennai. No, you are not. Bangalore has really in fact got some kind of stuff that you can always tell others about. So this is something very unique, that experiment that has started, and it has the buy-in of the government. The government released this TenderSURE, and as a blessing of the government of Karnataka, and they have in fact gone about adopting these specifications for doing some of the roads, which I will just unfold as we go along. So see, typically what's happening is we build roads poorly, and therefore leads to neglect, and since it is neglected, we need to rebuild, and this kind of a vicious cycle goes on and on. This is what is happening in almost the entire country. So this is what we need to address squarely. Now we have issues, above grade, at grade issues, lack of road hierarchy, lack of design standards, then unfair division of the right of way that you must have already heard about from the previous speaker, the negligence, weak repair, and poor maintenance. This is the area where I have in fact emphasized and re-emphasized when Ms. Swati Ramanathan was designing this particular specification. I said doing a road is not a rocket science, but the problem in India is operation and maintenance. It's a serious problem of all public utilities, public buildings across the country. We will build a nice building, school building, office building, all sorts of things that we'll do, but we will not be providing for maintenance. And even if we provide for, we will not be really spending money for operation and maintenance. As a result, all these excellent monuments will become derelict, they'll become useless, and either you rebuild it by spending huge cost, and that's what more often than not it happens. So we need to focus on this operation maintenance of our public utilities in a very serious manner. It's very, very important, because we spend colossal amount in creating this infrastructure, be it road, be it building, be it dams, be it power plants, anything. We spend such a lot of money. We need to provide adequately for operation and maintenance, so that you don't need to recreate those facilities again and again and again. So poor urban lighting leading to unsafe streets. This you have been reading about it. You have been kind of informed by the TV every now and then how it's all happening in all big cities. So this is the residency road. How the wide travel lanes, negligent footpaths promote speeding. See, when the a road is very wide, there is a tendency to speed. That's what often happens on the road, and that's very unsafe for the pedestrian. And this is the Vittal Malaya road, lack of designated pedestrian crossings. There is no crossing earmarked for pedestrians. As a result, people cross the road anywhere, anytime in a zigzag manner. That's what happens more often than not. And this is the Commissariat road. You would have people would have walked through this. It's all nightmarish. Now there are also below grade. This is all above grade. The below grade issues are also too many in our cities, urban centers all over the country. So crisscrossing service lines, creating chaos and unhealthy proximity between the water supply. There are instances where the water supply, the potable water, got mixed with the sewage and leading to a catastrophe. Lot of epidemics happening all over the very shining example is the Surat, where the plague that affected Surat long back, and it's happening all over the country every now and then. We are not paying adequate attention. The power lines below the road requiring digging up for maintenance, because everybody digs up the road at will. There is nobody to control them, because there is an absence of an agency which can coordinate all this. That's what needs to be created, an umbrella agency which can coordinate the activities of digging and relaying the roads. The water supply walls, this is right on the middle of the road. And why this TenderSURE guidelines? This is how it got the sanction of the government. This got released by then the Chief Minister, Mr. Sadananda Gowda, and government immediately acted on this. This is a holistic approach. This is a holistic approach to all the problems that you are encountering on the road. That's how it has been thought of. This is the above grade issues, how you should provide for pedestrians, how you should have a cycle track, and what should be the tree line, what should be the travel lane. This at grade, how it should be. The road itself is not being done properly. It's everyone's knowledge that people just do a very shoddy work. The contractors do a very shoddy work. They don't do it as per specifications. There are a lot of specifications for doing a road that they are actually followed more in kind of breach than in observance. That's another serious issue that we need to tackle. Then the below grade issues, as I was telling, the stormwater drain, the power line, the optical fiber cables, gas line, street light, all these issues need to be grappled with. It's very easy to do it. Only thing is, we need to be a little more clued on, little more focused. The authorities concerned should be a little more focused, and it's eminently possible to do it. So the tendering process, the number one is you must avoid the subcontracts. Then what happens is the responsibility, kind of gets diluted. It devolves on the other person, not the person who has really taken up the job. So we must avoid subcontracts. There should be stringent quality control and procurement measures. This is another area that we said we have to be very, very categorical about, that there should not be any dilution in the specifications and the procurement measures that we are insisting for a particular road. Include maintenance clauses. There is a defect liability period. Now, if the road is done today, for about 3 years, the contractor who has done the road has to maintain. That's any defect that happens during that period, it is his job to repair it. The reason being, the road is done at a very good cost, very huge cost with good profit margin. So it is expected that the road will last easily for about 5 to 6 years. So if the road in between gets damaged, that means the work was not done properly, and therefore there is a defect liability period, during which time if anything happens to the road, it's the job of the contractor to repair it. Then the inter-agency coordination I was talking about, each agency, we have multiplicity of agencies. We have central agencies, we have state agencies, and we also have got local agencies, the municipalities and others. Not everybody does he goes about doing his job at will on the road without any permission being sought from any authority who is in charge of that particular road. So, that is why the interagency coordination is very important, that like we have to establish an agency which oversees all this. Then encourage stakeholder and public participation, that is very important as well. Now, this was discussed at the chief secretary level at length, and that is how these 10 roads, government of Karnataka, they have agreed to do it in the first phase. These are the 10 roads, the St. Mark's Road, the Victoria Road, Museum Road, Brigade, all these 10 roads, they have provided for about 69 crores of rupees they have provided for already. So, they are well on their way. In fact, tendering process for 1 or 2 roads are also underway. It is not that we are lagging behind, that is also going on. Now, this is the current status. So, they provided about 200 crores in the budget, but for this 10 roads, about 69 crores will have been already earmarked in the budget, that is being undertaken immediately, in the immediate run. So, these are orders issued by the BBMP to that effect. And these are the roads that I was mentioning in the previous slide. These are the roads that they are planning to do up nicely as per the TenderSURE specifications. Now, this is the current status. Tendering process is currently in progress to choose the best possible candidate to construct. In fact, here I would like to mention, since the specifications are so tough, so good in fact, and it is tough for any run-of-the-mill contractor, in the initial tendering, nobody participated. Nobody came forward because it is very tough. It's a world-class standard of road that we are talking about. So, people are not used to doing world-class roads. That's a problem. So they would like nobody participated. Then there was re-tendering, and the BBMP was again advised that even if it is a single tender, you should go in for it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we must select a contractor who is capable, who understands what it means to make a road of this nature. So, the vision statement of TenderSURE is again very interesting. No land acquisition. It's not that you are going to break buildings and then add space to the existing road. No, the existing road itself can be replanned. That's the idea of TenderSURE. Streets for all, create a public realm, and create a network. Now, no land acquisition, as I mentioned to you. Here, there is so much of land already available. There is no point in acquiring more land, but it can be designed in this manner. This is a street for all. You can see wherever there is a adequate space available, we must ensure that everyone is able to make use of the roads that we make. And this is the kind of like I said, the previous speaker was mentioning, that people need to congregate. They need to, if you had gone abroad, you would have noticed how people they are able to use the public space available on the roadside very efficiently, and the entire family is out there enjoying themselves. So, that is the kind of atmosphere that we need to create in cities, so that the monotony of the city is broken. Otherwise, the city life becomes very monotonous, very dull. Now, how do you break all that monotony? This is the way you go about doing. Then you need to create a network of roads, so that the neighborhood, the people in the neighborhood, all of them stand to gain. The design methodology is like this: vehicular travel lanes of uniform width. It should be of uniform width. It's like this. It should see the buffer zone is on the left hand side, then the footpath, then the cycle track, then the landscape strip where you have this small grassing and all that, and you have the vehicular travel lane, and the bus lay bay. That's again a earmarked space where the buses can ply on that particular lane. So, the replica of the left hand side is on the right hand side, the cycle track and the footpath. So, this is how it has been conceived. Now, this is the entry exit to properties. It should be so designed that without breaking the footpath, people should be able to access those properties. And it's easy to design. It's not very difficult. It's very easy to design. If you notice here that people can easily, access the buildings in the nearby vicinity. See, the footpath is here, the cycle track is here. This is the entry exit ramp. It is so well done that it's very easy to entry and exit. This is the crossing. See, you will find in most of the road there is no crossing earmarked, and this is actually completely it's not a pro pedestrian. It's completely anti pedestrian. The roads are because abroad, if you happen to ever go, you will see the first right of use of road goes to pedestrian. Whereas in India, he is the last person. So this is very unfortunate truth, but that is the value we attach to human beings. It's very unfortunate that